When I was dear Toastmaster and fellow Toastmaster guest, today my speech is the new member of my family. When I was little, I remember my grandma. She liked to raise chickens and ducks, even there are pigs. I always enjoy the breakfast with eggs my grandma raised. It was really delicious. After I went to college, I seldom have chance to taste again. So I really miss the taste of hometown chicken raised eggs. Last year, my husband gave me a surprise. When I was in a trip, he told me he bought 7 chicken babies. I was happy. During the first week, when I was still out of town, my husband told me one of them was taken away by some maybe animal and don't know who took it away. So he only guessed maybe hawks because there's no any clue. You couldn't see the feather or my husband actually he built chicken run. So he put the little babies into the chicken run and covered something, but it didn't help. One was missing. After a couple of weeks, after I came back, and another one was killed outside of the chicken house. We saw like feathers outside of the chicken house. We didn't see who killed it. My husband googled it, and he guessed maybe fox. My neighbor, a little girl in my the girl, she lived near my house. She told he heard some noise, and she guessed maybe coyote. Yeah. My husband he checked with other friends who had the experience raising chicken. And they told my husband, they were raised like 10 chickens. But in one day, all of the chicken were gone. So we feel this kind of like urgent stuff. And in weekend, we visit like nearby chicken farm. We saw them using electricity fence to protect the chickens. So we made a decision. We need something to be built. So my husband bought some tool, and also we built an electric fence. Also we use some net to cover above the yard. Eventually, we didn't see that bad thing happen again. We since raising chicken needs some work, you need to feed them every day, and maybe like 3 times one day, and you need water, give them water. my husband, he's got some idea, and he built some like a semi-automatic food feeder, also semi-automatic chicken water. Uh, so it saved us a lot of time. That yeah, I forgot something to talk at the beginning. Probably maybe I should go back a little bit. Uh, I really like eggs, like it's a hometown raised. I remember one day, like a neighbor, she approached me for selling an egg. So I know where the egg is, so I just give her for free. Uh, and when I was hungry, I like to, because my grandma, he cook food for pig. So sometimes I just, it's like, because I left just like 5 or 6 years old, I stole egg and put in the food. But sometimes I forgot, and the pig ate the egg. Just like some little story from like my young age. Um, but right now, the chicken that live happily with us. In the morning time, I just set them free because they are 6 months old, and they just start to lay eggs. We now enjoy the delicious egg. Yeah, this is a story for raising chickens. Before I end the speech, I have some question for you and maybe for myself. The first one, like how old hen can lay egg? Second one, can lay eggs without a rooster? Third one, like what does chicken use for fatting? And the final one, can hen hatch egg without using unfertilized egg? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I am here to evaluate June's speech, which was titled New Member of My Family. Thank you, June, for giving a speech today. I really enjoyed the surprise element of your title versus your speech. I know personally, I thought you were going to introduce a niece or a nephew or some sort of human child, but no, you surprised us with 7 baby chickens. So I like that surprise element. It always makes the twist always brings a little interest to the speech. I liked how you walked us through the process of learning to raise these 7 chickens or 6 chickens, maybe 5 chickens by the end of it. But you walked us through how you learned. You sought out help from friends. You visited a farm to get ideas from them. And I think you came to a very viable solution that has solved your chicken loss problem. So I liked how there was an arc. You were surprised by the chickens, as were we. You walked us through learning how to raise a chicken, and you came to a solution. So that was a lovely, well-rounded story. The things that I would challenge you to improve on, one, there's no need to tell us if you forgot something from your story, because we as the audience couldn't tell if there was anything missing. But I do appreciate that you wanted to put some more up front, which is also another critique that I would give, is to present the story, present maybe the moral of the story, an outline of the story up front so we know what you're going to be talking about. The second thing is vocal variety. I would have liked to hear all the suspense about, the coyote coming perhaps, or was it a fox? And then boom, you had a solution. So some vocal variety would have added more interest to the delivery of that speech. And then lastly, I would suggest to practice eye contact with the camera. It's very easy. I'm doing it. We're staring at our screens instead of up into the camera. We will have to use our peripheral vision to see the reaction from the audience, but making eye contact with the camera is really good because the audience feels like you're talking to them. And I know that wasn't a problem in person, but virtually I know it's challenging, but something for you to think about for your next speech. So, as Juan said, you did leave us with a cliffhanger at the end with the questions. I would have liked you to weave the questions in because they are very interesting questions and they're also a way to grab the audience. So maybe even starting with the questions and then answering them throughout, or saying, I had these questions when I started raising chickens and now here I've learned and I'm here to share them with you. But thank you for sharing with us your story of the 5 chickens, I think now. And we hope to enjoy those eggs one day. I know one time I went to the farmer's market, I bought a dozen eggs and then I dropped one and it hurt my heart. So thank you, June, and appreciate you giving a speech today.